You're watching 5A News. I'm reporter Caitlin, and today we're going to be looking at scuba diving. Scuba diving is a fun activity enjoyed by millions of people in the world. But first, let's go to Jade, who will tell us some important equipment you need.
Thank you, Caitlin. This is Jade reporting from Illawarra. And we're here to discuss about the equipment you need for scuba diving. As you can see from the graphic, there is a lot of equipment required. Let's see how some of the equipment works. Firstly, let's look at the tank. A scuba diving tank contains normal air, which is a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen. And there is roughly enough air in one tank to safely dive for an hour. The gas in the tank is stored between 200 and 300 atmospheres. Humans cannot breathe air in such a high pressure. A regulator is required to breathe the air inside the tanks. A regulator is a technical piece of equipment that makes the oxygen from the tanks breathable by reducing its pressure. Another piece of important equipment is the mask. The mask helps people see underwater. If you're underwater for so long, your eyes can hurt, and the mask can help you feel better. It helps you see further than what you can see without goggles. Other equipment includes wetsuit, which reduces the loss of body heat, fins, which helps you get around, and gauges, which allow you to see what depth you are at, and the amount of air you have left. As you can see, there is a lot of equipment used in scuba diving. Back to you, Caitlin.
Thank you, Jade. I now know what I will wish for my birthday. Now let's cross to Jessica, who will give us a few tips on safety rules.
Thank you, Caitlin. I'm at La Perouse, where a lot of scuba divers go scuba diving around Bear Island. This is Bear Island. Now I'm going to look at a few safety rules. Never hold your breath when diving. It can cause terrible injuries, even death. During diving, your lungs can contract and expand. This can result in lung damage or gas bubbles in the bloodstream. Now we are looking at pressure. It is recommended that divers don't go deeper than 40 meters. An Egyptian man recently set a new record by diving over 332 meters. At this depth, the man would have received over 472 pounds per square inch. It took him 12 minutes to get to this depth and 15 hours to get back up to the surface. We are now looking at how you need to check your equipment. Before you dive, make sure your equipment is working. Then get your buddy to check your equipment. It's an important thing to know how to use your equipment. After that, check your buddy's equipment, because it will be too late when you're already in the water. Now we are moving on to the buddy system. A diver should stay close to his dive partner and be always aware of him. Next is the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds states that all divers should use their third of the air supply for the journey outwards, another third for the journey back, and the last third for the safety reserve. Thank you, and on to you, Caitlin.
Thank you, Jessica, for keeping us all safe. I wonder how divers communicate when they're underwater. Let's cross to Brittany and see if she knows.
Thank you, Caitlin. Did you know there are about 20 hand signals that divers use to communicate with their buddy? Which include, I'm okay, stop, go up, go down, slow down, take it easy, and last but not least, air problem. We are now moving on to the dive down flag. The outside of the flag is red, and it has a stripe that is white and goes diagonally down the flag. It is used when divers are in the water. It helps divers and boats communicate. Thank you, and on to you, Caitlin.
Thank you, Brittany. There are hundreds of scuba diving clubs in Australia. I recently contacted the Campbelltown MacArthur Scuba Diving Club and asked them a few questions. They were established in 1982, during the 80s. There were over 200 members, but currently only 30 active divers. They dive all year round and dive in many locations, mostly in the Illawarra area. Most divers enjoy the exploration and being close to the nature. Some divers seek out miniature animals. Some like to see large groups of fish, as everyone has their own desires. Join the Scuba Diving Club and you will experience some amazing things.
I enjoyed coming here and learning about the equipment you need, and I wouldn't mind wearing a wetsuit one day. I enjoyed coming to Bear Island and seeing the scuba divers up close. I also enjoyed learning about the buddy system. Now I've learned about the dive down flag, I hope to see some scuba divers.
I hope you learned as much as me. I really hope to go scuba diving myself one day. I hope you watch us next time. I'm Caitlin.